There we go. Just shut it. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
All right. Technology court's taken care of. Now onto the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve this agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first
Second.
and Spear with the second.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes. All right, so that has been approved. And now we'll go to the unscheduled communications. If there's anybody who wants to address the city council, please make your way to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Or, yes, ma'am.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Where's the interim city manager?
He is ill today.
I would like to address the city council.
Come on up.
Mayor Carney, city council. First of all, my last meeting, I was all primed to get up here and compliment Linda Beck on the outstanding job that she's doing with the 4th of July celebrations. But I would have got lost among everybody else congratulating her last week. So I will follow up and continue to congratulate you on that outstanding work. And not only on that 4th of July celebration, but I think you're doing an outstanding job of staying on top of issues that are important to the city. And I just think you're doing a great job. So kudos, keep up the good work. Certainly do like to see what you're doing. Another thing is that I've had a couple of conversations with your interim police chief. I've talked to people about her work previously at the school and other work, and people who have had to work with her, communicate with her, and how well she gets along with and works with other law enforcement people. And I will say that I highly recommend that you strongly consider Lisa for the permanent police chief job. And I am extremely pleased to see inside your appointment process a little line that says residency requirement. Now, could I assume that that means that whoever you hire, if they are not currently living in Tipton, will be required to move to Tipton? I'm hoping I can assume that, because last time that did not happen. You said it, but you didn't mean it. And I think it's important that when you're hiring people to work for the city of Tipton, that if at all possible, you hire people who live in Tipton, pay taxes in Tipton, because they have a greater stake in doing the job and staying with us. So that's an important thing as far as I'm concerned when I consider any hiring process. If there's a qualified person in Tipton, I think they need to receive a few extra points on the hiring process. So, once again, thank you. And the council done a great job as well, working together with all the festivities we've done, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If anyone else would like to address? All right, seeing that there is none, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is everything being passed with one motion, which is the approval of the last city council minutes, approval of June treasurer's and investments report, approval of the May 9th planning and zoning board minutes, approval of June and July airport committee meeting minutes, and an approval of a liquor license renewal for Family Foods. Is there any of these that need to be pulled out for discussion?
Mayor, I just needed a clarification on one thing. Under the certificate information, there is some interest that was paid to the road use, paid to the street department from road use, and it lists a certificate number there, Lorna, but I didn't see that number listed on the front page. Is there a number
It's not. It's on the back page, because it does directly go into road use. First aid code is paid to the street department, even if it's a turn.
But it lists a certificate number 522546, and that number is not listed on the first page, so was there a number change somewhere, and I just missed that?
I have to look, Leanne, I can check on that.
All right, is there a motion to approve these pending?
Was the planning and zoning minutes in your, what you just read off?
Yes.
Okay.
well, I appreciate getting those, actually. And I see in part of the minutes, and I guess I don't know within where it goes unless the P and Z come to us, but it says, needs to ask city council for the process to get boxes and utilities moved. Is that something that should just go on the agenda, or should someone from P and Z come here?
That just out the new subdivision, right?
Yes,
next step.
yes, yep. Because there is a problem out there. Most of them were put right in the lane of the sidewalks where they should be put. So I mean, probably nothing's gonna happen in the next 2 weeks, but someone probably has to ask for it or have it put on the agenda.
There's one that goes to his neighbors.
I think that's subdivision, there's supposed to be sidewalks
Are you, mine? Yes, they are.
But
So that's
are those supposed to be provided by the developer or city?
It's the
Not the city.
Right.
It's just that the boxes were put
Yeah,
in
I see.
totally in line where the sidewalk would run. That's my only point is,
We were discussing that today because of the electrical boxes. And Tanya dug up this information today for me. And see, technically, we've got this one retaining wall that
Yep.
comes over here like this, and that would be the line of the sidewalk. But as I'm remembering, according to my help, our box is closer to the street, and it wouldn't interfere if the sidewalk didn't have to go around that, but his property basically ends just right there.
and it isn't just city, it's MediaCom's box as well.
Yeah, and then there's this resolution that she dug out too, that was from 2005. It's not a signed one, but there was lots 1 and 22.
Where Gettleman's is and where Getz now lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were exempted temporarily until the city provided a sidewalk along South Street. So they were exempted from having to further continue the sidewalk because it would be a sidewalk going to nowhere.
Nowhere, right.
On the final plat for the Millennium Edition, there was no sidewalk indication. So when the infrastructure was put in, we put it in what we saw as what was going to be the right of way.
Mm-hmm.
There was a retaining wall built on 907 Bramble Road. It extends into the right of way, which is where we run into this problem with the sidewalk, because the sidewalk would technically need to run across that retaining wall. Otherwise, he has to go around the retaining wall or into the right of way to continue on with the sidewalk. So there's a lot of little issues that need to be discussed.
Okay, well, you're right, because I know it's kind of a problem up there. My point was we need to probably address to get it on the agenda just to say we can remove it as needed.
You want me to give all this stuff to Lorna so she can make copies of it for the next council meeting then, or?
Yeah. All right, so do we have a motion to pass this consent agenda? Spear with the first. Second. And Anderson with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
McNeil? Booth?
Yes.
All right, then moving down to the motions for approval. We have the claims list. Is there any items that need to be pulled out from the claims list?
I had one, it's Republic Services of Iowa, and it's a recycling sort fee. And I don't remember ever seeing that before.
We have to pay that because because we no longer get paid for the recycling.
Right, but we
It
haven't
costs-
been paid for a while, have we?
I don't know how often they send them, do you know?
Monthly.
Monthly? Why it's
So Republic, this
They changed
same
it
place?
in How often in the last
It's
few
been-
years, right? Used to be City Park.
It used to be City Carton, but Republic bought them out.
Oh, okay, so
they
just the name
haven't-
changed?
Yeah, haven't noticed that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other on the claims list? Is there a motion to approve the claims list? Boots with the first. And McNeil with the second.
Spear,
Yes.
Leeper,
Yes.
McNeil, Boots,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes. All right, claims list has been approved. The second one, the discussion and consideration of purchasing a pickup for the water wastewater department. Is there any questions or discussion on that? How long are we expecting this truck to last?
We usually run them 10 years. I think we appreciate this one, though, we're buying, paying for it. It's in the budget, we're paying for it outright right now. We're not depreciating it out, and we're taking any money out of central garage and paying it back over time. Like typically, we would pay, we buy a pickup and pay it back in 5 years. Pay it off in 5 years, but this is just gonna be, and keeping in mind that, Alliance, they had 2 pickups that we bought for them, and we're operating with 1 pickup. And it was budgeted for, with this whole, takeover of in-house.
Any other questions? Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Anderson with the first,
I'll second.
and Spear with the second.
Leeper,
Yes.
McNeil.
Yes.
Boots.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Spear.
Yes.
All right, so it is passed. When do we take delivery of it?
Well, it'll be ordered now.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. Slane normally takes. Pardon?
All right, sounds good. The next one, number 3, which is drip reimbursement for Total Look. Is there any questions or discussion on that?
I'm at your beck and call.
Oh, there you are.
And I think you received everything in your packet that described Michelle Ford, and she would like to put in windows and a new door. The total project was $6,808, but let's see, reimbursement is 50%, I believe, so it's $3,404, and the commission did recommend this.
Is the work done?
No.
Okay, so then it's just
Nothing,
approving the
and we
grant.
explained to all the businesses that once the commission gives the okay, I have to come before the council. They cannot start anything until I know if you've passed this or not.
But the reimbursement wouldn't take place till the work is done.
That's correct.
All
And then what
or
happens?
just the windows?
Whatever she's applied for.
Yeah.
Right,
Just
and
the
then
windows.
Tim and I go
Yeah, good.
to do an inspection to make sure that they were in fact put in. And after that is approved, then we come back to the council, let you know that everything is satisfactory, and that's when the check gets issued. Yes.
So then when we put this on the agenda, we should have put approving the grant application like you did the other two, instead of a reimbursement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just so the council's aware.
yes, because she will not be reimbursed until, and that's probably the timing like that. Do you have any questions regarding Total Look? Okay.
All right, is there a motion to approve, or should we first change it?
Yeah, it should be like a grant application
So
versus
is there-
reimbursement.
Then we first need a motion to change it from drip reimbursement to drip application, grant application.
Reimbursement, and I'll make note of that.
So, Mr. McNeil with the first,
I'll second.
and Boots with the second.
McNeil?
Yes.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Lieber?
Yes.
And now is there a motion to approve that application, grant application? This is still number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion? Lieber with the first,
I'll second.
and Spear with the second.
McNeil?
Yes.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Lieber?
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 4. It's a drip grant application approval for Penny's Hair and Nails.
And that again is for storefront windows. And the amount of the project cost is $2,399.96. And reimbursement amount would be $1,199.98. 50%.
Is it just, are we applying for just the 2 in the front? Because I see we've
Yes.
done 2 in the rear already.
No, she had to redo this application, because that is not allowed. So it's just front
Front.
windows,
Okay.
store front.
Okay.
Yes.
So the bid is for 4 storefront windows.
Yeah, it has to be, yes. It'd be in the front of her building.
The front
and
4
it's
windows.
Excuse me?
The front 4 windows.
Yes.
Just so you
Let
know.
me, I think it's, actually.
Just so you know, we got a picture of the back too.
Oh, well, you got the wrong one.
Yeah.
May I show you?
Yeah.
May I show you what you should have gotten? Okay. So, it's gonna be, yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, so it's front 4.
Yeah, it's the front.
Ah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Yeah, yep, sorry about that.
Linda, would you give me a copy of the packet?
Sure. In my haste of vacation.
You're forgiven.
Okay, like I was just looking at the clock, so sorry about that.
Okay, so then do we have a motion to approve the grant application for Penny's Hair and Nails? Spear with the first,
Second.
and Boots with the second.
Boots? Yes. Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Lieber?
Yes.
McNeil?
And the next one, number 5, which is a drip grant application approval by NBC Properties.
So this is for commercial interior instead of exterior, so it's a little bit different. The total cost of this project is $40,592.83. Approved was $7,471.02. The $16,000 that was budgeted for fiscal year 2017, if this one is granted, the $16,000 will be gone with 4 applications this year. They can submit applications again, and they can be approved with knowing that they will not be reimbursed until fiscal year 2018.
I have questions on that one.
Sure.
And you've answered some of my questions previously by talking about the reimbursement application
Yes.
process and so forth. But on this particular one, they have requested, and looking at your application here, 4,015 square feet or so.
Yeah.
But it says there, underneath there, $5 per square foot. So the reason they're only getting 7,000 is because that's all the money that's available.
Correct.
Okay, otherwise they would have gotten 20,000.
Not necessarily, no.
No.
I believe generally it's up to $7,500.
That's a maximum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good information
Yes.
to know. Okay, let me see. I think that's the only thing that was concerning me, and now that I know the reimbursement won't happen until the project's done, and I
Right.
know that.
And inspected,
Yeah,
and
we're good.
inspected, yes.
Okay.
All right. No problem.
Thank you for the question.
And this was recommended by
The commission,
The commission.
yes. And Mark Niles abstained from this. He's a part of that board, so I do need to let you know that that did happen.
All right, is there a motion to approve this grant application?
I will move.
Spear with the first, second Anderson with the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil? Booth?
Yes.
All right.
Excellent,
Been
thank you.
approved.
Our
Thank you.
downtown is really starting to look very nice.
Yes, yes.
And fuller.
And fuller.
All right, moving on to number 6, the pool compressor purchase. Virgil, you wouldn't mind coming up to the podium?
It's for the locker room. Filled 2 weeks ago. Kind of looked like lightning. It blew the wires out. So I've never seen them. So we lost all 3 on 2.
Wow. And obviously, this is something vital to the.
Well, it's not too bad up there. It wasn't bad up there this morning. It was around 77. Because there's still the north end, south end, north end, something like that. I imagine Friday's gonna be pretty warm.
Can, I can't remember if I read it or not. Can you guys put it in?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
What caused it to go up? Do you know that?
I'm sorry.
What caused it to go up?
Well, it's gonna be like well, they're gonna fail anyway because the geothermal field's too, it's only half the size it's supposed to be. So they're high discharge, they're putting out high discharge pressures way higher than what they designed to be. So you're only getting a couple years out of each one. That's why they have a lawsuit, part of the reason.
And this will hopefully all be taken care of.
The new units.
Get it redone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to air-cooled units instead of the geothermal.
So you'll put something in that will work with that when we.
But, I mean, they run 24 hours a day. They heat and they cool with the compressors.
Right, but as opposed to the geo, I don't know if what we had in there will work with what we're going to be switching to.
Mhm.
So what you put in
The
will.
new units will be air-cooled.
Yeah.
Right.
This is just a fix to get
Yeah,
to that.
just to get by.
Oh, so this won't work with
This-
that. Oh.
Yeah. Didn't we replace one of these earlier this summer too?
That's for the pool area.
Yeah.
That's for the locker room.
Yeah, but it,
Yep, oh, actually replaced 2 of them. There's four in the pool area and there's 4 in the locker room.
all right. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Boots with the first and Leeper with the second? All right.
Spear?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Booth?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you, Virgil.
Thank you, Virgil.
Thanks, Bert.
And number 7, the hiring and appointment process of the chief of police, which personally me, I would recommend that we table this since Tim Long isn't here and he's been deeply involved with this as well. So,
I agree. I'll make a motion to table it.
Spear with the motion to table this, and Leeper with the second.
Leeper?
Yes.
McNeil?
Yes.
Booth?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
And the next one, the school and parks facilities joint use agreement. Here again, I would recommend we table this until Tim Long can speak more eloquently about this than I ever could. But- Oh yeah, and Adam isn't here either, so.
I'll move for tabling.
Anderson with the motion to table,
No second.
and Boots with the second.
McNeil? Booth?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Leeper?
Yes.
All right, then the reports, the July 26th Economic Development Director report. You want to say anything? or-
Now, do you have any questions?
No, that's all. All right, is there a motion to receive this reports.
So moved.
Spear with the first,
I'll second.
and Boots with the second.
Boots?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Reaper?
Yes.
McNeil?
All right, so that has been received and will be filed. The next one up is the discussion items with no action, which is talking about sidewalk cafe tables. And I actually brought this up because I seem to remember a while ago, like maybe a decade ago, there was some issue with sidewalk tables in town. And so I asked Tim Long to look into it, and he found an ordinance from the city of Cedar Rapids, which is in the packet as well. And I also consulted with Chief Kepfer about the safe walking distance and all that. And can you speak to the current ordinance?
We don't have a current ordinance for that. The most we have are our sidewalk regulations, which are in chapter 136. The two things that are addressed are merchandise display and sales stands. And those discuss businesses having those things right outside their place and giving a three foot or 36-inch space that they can't go past that. Steve, do you know how big our sidewalks are, like how, from the business to the curb?
That varies a little bit. You mean downtown?
Yeah.
I'll take 12 feet.
12 feet. So just, because I'm like, well, what is actually the 36 inches? So 36 inches from the edge of the building to right there. That would be your 36 inches. Currently the regulation is for stands or sales stuff. If somebody was going to have bistro tables and they did the 36 inches, if they're 12 feet or 8 feet, we can still have plenty of feet past that. We don't have an ordinance. It would be my recommendation that the council or somebody make up something, even if it's a temporary or a seasonal. I see Cedar Rapids has more of a seasonal through March through November, I think it was. They also addressed the alcohol issue. That was another concern they had, is if you're going to serve alcohol with that business, how's it going to be monitored? And they require an employee to be monitoring that. And insurance. So my recommendation would be if people wanted to do that, I would think we should write something up, contract, whatever, that they would have to do on an annual basis, just so they're all aware of it. So that's my recommendation.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, and the other time I thought of this too is because with the eateries that we have in town, I think it'd be kind of nice to sit outside every once in a while and have your meal out there, and so then we don't have too much of the sidewalk being taken up.
Brian, can I make a comment?
Definitely.
I would look at that long and hard on the liability issues, because you're probably gonna have little glass top tables. Remember how people are today. And if you've got somebody there that's had too much to drink, they fall off the chair, they get hurt. Say little kids running down the sidewalk, 2 years old, they grab the table, pull the table over on them. You could have huge liability. I'm not sure it's worth it. I
Well,
would
there,
do it.
well, I've seen tables already out too, so that's
I have
another
too.
reason why. But we could discuss this and.
Yeah, I felt that the ordinance or the regulations that Cedar Rapids had was pretty long.
Mhm.
You know, 6 in the morning come midnight. I can't foresee us needing those kinds of hours for the places we would want that for.
Mhm.
You know, that would only, till midnight would only probably be bars.
Yeah, there's 2 places in town.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Brian, they're also required, Cedar Rapids, they're also required to have insurance specifically for that. The businesses themselves have to have the RDS.
So,
Serve classes.
do you know right now if they have tables out there? who that would fall under? Say, Ms. Swan's scenario were to happen?
We have to check with Steve and Lisa to see who's sure, Steve is the sidewalk that falls in public works. But if there's a legal issue, then I would guess we need to talk to the city attorney, or we need to like Pelzer first,
Okay.
insurance, and then go from there. What they say.
All right.
Steve and I were wondering, the 38, at least in Cedar, when maybe 38, when would be a feet, we should also. I think there's a 10-foot grace zone, possibly.
Really? All right.
Depending on the speed limit.
Yeah.
And that would be a DOT issue.
Yeah. Regulations.
All right.
Would each individual business have to furnish their own liability insurance for that?
Yeah,
Uh,
probably
and
have
it
the
is
city as
extremely
additional
shared.
And then also Cedar Rapids, their requirements is $50 a year application fee.
It would be cost prohibitive to most business owners. They wouldn't do that much business to pay for their liability insurance out
Might
on
be
the
why they
sidewalk.
did it that way too.
Uh-huh.
Might be what,
Yeah.
keep it down,
Yeah,
keep that population down.
they'd have to do well for business.
You're just wanting to discuss it.
Yes. All right, so is there any other discussion on that? Because like I said, I just wanted to get everybody's ideas and input. All right, seeing that there is none, we'll move on to the reports. Start out with me. I don't really have anything to report this bi-weekly time. Anybody from the council? Seeing that there is none. From committees? You are not city manager, so. And,
He doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
water wastewater operator, Mr. Brennan?
Things are going pretty good. We're keeping it together. 18 days in now, in-house operations. So just a few things we've been up to. Both east and west lagoon facilities have been mowed. We continue to do spraying to try to get the dikes kind of under control. They're pretty weedy. The west is looking pretty good now. We've got some more to do out at the east lagoons. We found that 3 out of 4 of the dehumidifiers in the water plant were in non-working condition. Luckily, got a little help from Virgil, the gas department. They come over and Virgil helped us get them going. We now have 3 out of 4 dehumidifiers working in there. And a water plant without dehumidifiers is like a cave. There's so much 55-degree water going through there, 72-degree building, it just drips. And, it drips so much around the iron filters that it runs on the floor and it runs a stream down across. So, and you can imagine the wet conditions in the plant. It's hard on the conduit, and everything's steel, the piping, the controls, and so you want to keep that environment dry. Eldon helped with that too. He dismantled those units and found some of the problems. We bought some replacement parts. Water plant's good and dry again, so that's good. We've been going through just mixed boxes of inventory, cardboard boxes with just miscellaneous tools and plumbing and electrical supplies. It's been kind of sorting all through that, seeing what we've got and kind of getting that in order on the shelving. The facilities have been rekeyed. We mentioned that, I think, at the last meeting. Some of the public works staff come and they put some rock in some of the potholes in the driveways at the 2 facilities. That was nice. Took care of some of the mud holes. We completed water MORs. This is the first one of those I've done in a few years now. That was due on the 10th. We got that in on time.
Just so everybody knows, what does the MOR stand for?
MOR is a monthly operating report. It's a requirement from the state of Iowa, DNR, and that's actually who I submit them to is Region 6 office down in Washington. So water MOR is due on the 10th every month. And then the wastewater MORs, which we have 2 of them, are due on the 15th. We have a monthly operating report for the west facility and also one for the east. That's kind of a disadvantage in the town. We've got 2 wastewater plants. That could prove to be a disadvantage in the future as these new regulations come into. So we'll talk more about that later. But we had a chlorinator that had a leak on it in the water plant, started leaking. And this happens, this is a common occurrence, but Eldon helped me. We put a new degassing valve on the top of that. Luckily, there was one in inventory. We got the chlorine leak fixed. We are operating on brand new NPDES permits, National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permits. We have two, one for the east, one for the west. The east facility has two discharge options, outfall 001, outfall 002. Outfall 001 is into Cricket Creek, and those limits are very stringent. DNR, State of Iowa, sets stream standards. 002 is where we're discharging currently. I don't know what year, but a few years back, the city put in a pump station out there to be able to pump the product back to Tipton and discharge in to an unnamed tributary near Pizza Hut. Those limits are much lighter, much easier to follow, and that's why we bring that product back to town, is to discharge in there to meet the limits. About 6 months of the year, we discharge one, and 6 months of the year to the other. So, and those limits are changing too with this new permitting process. But we'd like to be able to shut that lift station off if we could. It would save a lot of energy. Right now, it's just a little too tight. We can't quite do it. So, those permits are pretty detailed. There's a lot of parameters we have to follow in them, and sampling and stuff like that. So things are going pretty good there. We did have to add 2 new composite samplers for the first time ever, Tipton now has to take composite samples on the raw influent at 2 facilities. 2 of the samplers we bought, when we got them in, one of them worked great, the other one didn't work. The refrigeration part of it, it keeps the sample cool for 24 hours until you actually take it out of the fridge. So we had to talk to Hawk Company. The new one, the replacement came, I think it was Friday. We set that up today. And today we started packaging the one that was bad to return it. So we'll try to get it returned this week. They were a pretty good expense, so we need to get that back to get that credit back. And last but not least, we had a water tower overflow event. I know that was kind of a buzz around town. I got a few inquiries about that. That one's on me. I messed up. I overflowed the tower, and nothing really came of it other than a loss of the water. It was a control thing. On Wednesdays, you backwash the water plant, you put the controller into backwash mode. I forgot to return it to normal as I walked out the building that day. Overflowed by, I think it was 7 o'clock that night. I got a text from, of all people, Mark Wild, and the former operator. He said, "Hey, dude, you got a fault up there at the plant." I said, "Okay." So I went in right away, and I was a little disappointed that our dialer is still programmed to call those guys, so we had to get that changed. And so that proved to be kind of technical, getting into that thing, and it was kind of stubborn, but we finally got it reprogrammed for numbers for our staff. And so we've got about 600 on phone numbers in there, including the sheriff's department, which is like number 6. It's the 6th phone number that would be dialed. And so got that taken care of. So sorry about that. That was on me. Any questions for me?
Oh, it looks clean.
It did clean some of the mildew off the tower, so I guess that's one positive thing coming of it. And that's about it. Things are going pretty good. So, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
You bet.
All right, department heads. Now everybody wants. Steve. All right, we're good. All right, then, with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Leeper made the first. McNeil the second.
Anderson?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Hinkle?
Yes.
McNeil? Woods?
Yes.
All right, this is adjourned at 6:10.